Hello there, grade 7s. Mr. Clausen here. So we're starting in on a new unit today. This is our unit 8 on circles. There's a fair bit of vocabulary to go along with this unit, so I've got some of it here on the page to show you guys. I hope you do admire my two lovely circles that I have here, which I drew using my daughter's little jar of markers. So they are quite nice. The first word that we want to learn is about what the actual circle itself is called, or the length of this circle. We call this the circumference. A way I like to remember it is I always think of King Arthur, and of course he had the round table, and a circle is round too. You might know some of King Arthur's famous knights like Sir Lancelot or Sir Gawain, Sir Galahad. You've probably also heard of course, circumference. And circumference is, of course, the best of the knights of the round table. So when you think of that round outside of the circle, about how long it is, that's called a circumference, just like the knight of the round table, although of course we spell it differently. There's two other words that we need to learn as well. One is radius. Radius is the length from the middle of the circle to a straight line going to anywhere on the outside. So radius could be from here to here, or from here to here, or from here to here. It's always the same length because it's from the middle of the circle to the outside. So that's called a radius. If a line goes all the way from one end of the circle to the other and crosses through the middle, that's called a diameter. So diameter goes from one side of the circle to the other side of the circle and has to cross through the middle. Of course, if it didn't cross through the middle, it could be many different lengths. Because it crosses through the middle, it's the same length no matter which way you put it. So from the middle to the outside, that's called radius. All the way across the circle, but also through the middle, that's called a diameter. And the outside length of a circle is called circumference. Now, one relationship we can see about this is diameter, which we can call d, is equal to two of these radiuses, two radii. So 2 times r, 2 times the radius, will give you the diameter. Or if you prefer adding, the radius plus another radius will give you the diameter. So this radius here, imagine adding another radius, that would be the same length as the diameter, because a diameter basically is 2 of these radiuses. Because we are all at home at this time, we don't have our geometry sets with us, and so we can't use a compass or some of the other tools to make a good circle. But what we can do is make a very technical tool. We can, of course, take a marker or a pencil and tie a piece of string to it. And some of the questions in the textbook will ask for this as well. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to find the length as they have it in the textbook. And using string, you're going to draw a circle. You'll want to take a thumbtack and tack down on one end of the line, because this will be like the radius of your circle. So it's going from the middle to the outside. And then you'll take your pencil and you will, of course, go around. You'll have to make sure that your pencil, that you hang on to the string part of it so it doesn't move at all. And then that way, you'll be able to make a perfect circle going all the way across. And it's pretty tough to do it unless you got your thumbtack in there. I don't want to put a thumbtack into this thing, so I'm not going to do the full circle, but you can imagine that you can make it all the way around. And the thumbtack will keep your string so it's in the right place and it will stay there for the entire time. I'm just going to disassemble my very technical instrument and use it as a regular marker again. So this is one way that we can make a circle if we don't have a compass. Our next question here is, what is the diameter of a circle with each radius? So we're given the radius here. We have to find the diameter. Remember, 2 of the radius will make a diameter. So if I have 10 meters for the radius, the diameter is just double that. So 10 times 2 would be 20 meters. For the 15 centimeter radius, again, I'll have to double it. So 15 times 2, that would be 30 centimeters. And here I've got 47, so I'll have to double 47 here. And of course, 47 plus 47 will give me 94, and my units are kilometers in this case. So if you have a radius, to get the diameter, all you have to do is double it. The opposite kind of question is another good one. So let's say that we have we want to find the radius, but we have these diameters. So the diameter is 8, we'll have to cut that in half, basically, to find out what the radius is. So what is half of 8, or what is 8 divided by 2? Well, half of 8 is 4. 8 divided by 2 is 4 centimeters. Sometimes if it's an odd number, you'll end up with a 0.5 because it'll be a half of something. So of course, 5, if you cut in half, It's not exactly 2, it's not exactly 3, it's between the two numbers, so it's 2.5. Or if you prefer, you can think of it as being 5 divided by 2 is 2.5 kilometers. And then over here for 17 millimeters as a diameter, to find the radius, once again, I'm going to have to cut it in half. Of course, it's going to be not exactly 8, not exactly 9, but halfway between the two of them, so it'll be 8.5 millimeters for this radius. So if I have the diameter, I can find the radius by just cutting these in half. If I have the radius, I can find the diameter by doubling it. It's as easy as that. One final question that you might come across will look something like this. Without drawing the circles, find out which circle is bigger, explain how you know. Circle A, you have a radius, circle B, you have a diameter. In order to compare these two, we have to have the same kind of thing. So either we need to have a radius for both of them or a diameter for both of them. You could do it either way, but let's say that maybe I want to take this diameter and find out what the radius is. Half of 30 is 15. So this one has a radius of 12, this one has a radius of 15. Circle B is the bigger circle. And I know that because I have the two radiuses and I can compare them. I could find it the opposite way too. I could turn this one into a diameter. So 12 times 2 gives me 24 centimeters. And so I can compare these two numbers, and once again I'll see this one has a diameter of 24, this one has a diameter of 30. I can see that circle B is indeed the bigger one, and I can show that I know because I can compare the two similar things for this question.